Welcome to Experience the Stories. This is a new series of videos where each episode will feature a special guest telling us their story. First up we have Lucifer, who had an extraordinary encounter whilst camping with his family on the east coast of England. I'll let him tell his story in his own words.
Okay, thank you. Well, it happened quite a few years ago now. I think it was around about 2012, and it was the August bank holiday. We have bank holidays here in the UK, as I'm sure you're aware, Ash. Just in case some of your viewers are from abroad, what it is, it's basically a day off of work, and it's a national bank holiday throughout England, Wales, and Scotland. And so what we decided to do, my wife at the time, I'm now divorced from her, we decided we were going to go camping to Whitby, which is a seaside town. So we packed all the car up nice and early in the morning with a tent and camping equipment, and we set off. When we got down there, most of the campsites were all fully booked. It was a last minute decision on the Saturday to go, and like I say, unfortunately they were all fully booked. So what we decided to do was to drive around Whitby and see if we could find another campsite. We drove around, kept driving around to different ones. They were all full, so we then thought we'd drive maybe out of the town towards Yorkshire way, because that's not far from Whitby. And as we were driving out the town into more the countryside, I noticed at the side of the road there was a sign saying camping here, £5 per night. I thought, happy days, that sounds like a bargain. So pulled in, and the farmer come out from one of the buildings, and he said, yeah, can I help you? I said, yeah, I'm interested in camping here for a couple of nights, the Saturday night and the Sunday night, if that's okay. And he said, yeah, as the sign says, it's £5 per night. And I said, is it okay to have a campfire? He said, yeah, certainly, that's no problem at all. I said, I've got a dog as well, is that okay? He said, yeah, that's okay. He said, I've got two fields here. He said, I've got one over the far side where there's a big marquee and tent, which is full of youngsters. I think it's a 21st party thing that they're having. Or he said, you can go on this first field. He said, I've got another a couple halfway down the field. So I said, I'll go on the same field as the couple. I said, but we'll go right down the bottom if that's all right. He said, yeah, no problem. So went all the way down and set up all the tent and whatnot. By the time we set all the tent up, because it's a big old tent we had, I think it was like a 6-man tent or something. By the time we'd set that up, it was starting to get dark. So I set off on my own with the dog and gathered some wood for the fire. Come back and got the fire going and that. And then we got some chairs out, and me and the missus and my my 4-year-old daughter at the time, I think she was 4. We sat around the campfire, and it was dark now, so we had a couple of beers and just sitting there chatting about what we were going to do the following day. And my daughter said, "Could I borrow your phone, Dad, and do the app on there which tells you what all the stars are? I think it's called Star Walk or something. Don't quote me on that." But yeah, what it is, it's so you can hold your phone up and it's actually live, and it tells you, as you point it at a star, the name of the star. It picks up satellites, tells you the name of the satellites and when they were launched, and all that sort of information. It's a really good app, actually. I mean, what my daughter liked about it is the stars, you know, like for Cancer, it will show the stars and it will form the shape of a crab. So it's easier for the children to be able to recognise the stars in the sky. Anyway, she was, you know, enjoying it and pointing and showing me what stars were what. And then she said to me, Dad, I can't, this star's not showing up. And she said, I noticed it at the beginning. It's the one right above us. So I said, here, let me have a look. So I had a look at the app, holding it up to what we thought was a star. And sure enough, it wasn't showing up on the app. And it was quite a bright star. So the missus says, well, let me have a look. So she had a look, and sure enough, it wasn't showing up for her either. I said, well, maybe there's something wrong. So I, shut down all the other apps on the phone like you do, tried it again, still wasn't showing up. So I said, well, what I'll do, I'll turn the phone off and turn it on again. So I done that. I then opened the app back up, held it up to the star, and as I did so, what we thought was a star but shone a really bright light down on us. And when I say a bright light, it was impossible to actually look at the light because it would hurt your eyes. So we were all sort of like this, trying to look up with our hands, but it was just too bright. I looked over. I was sat, and my daughter was sat next to me, and then my missus to the other side of her. So my daughter was in the middle between us, and I looked over at both of them, and they looked really, really white, really ill. My wife was trying to talk to me, but I just couldn't hear her. I couldn't hear anything. It was completely silent, as if I'd gone deaf. So all I could hear was like this, mouthing, and I couldn't work out what she was trying to say to me. And not only that, I noticed that she was moving in slow motion. It was a very weird thing, and I started to feel sick. I felt sick, nauseous, sort of nauseous and really not well. And then I looked to my left, and I noticed all around me, apart from being in the light, was complete solid blackness. Could not see nothing outside. So what I'd done, I put my arm out of the beam of light, and my arm just disappeared into solid blackness. There was nothing there. It was very, very...
That's insane.
Yeah, it was very, very strange, because you'd think you'd be able to see the fields and that around us, but there was nothing. It was solid blackness. And then all of a sudden, the light went out, and it went back to being a bright star again. So we all looked up at it, and then it started to move across the sky very, very slowly like this. And then all of a sudden, it just shot off at a phenomenal speed that I don't think there's anything on this planet that would move at that speed. But the whole time, you couldn't hear any change. There was no noise. There was no change in temperature. There was no wind. There was nothing. It was just completely still, completely silent. And also, what throws me a little bit about this is the fact that if that was some sort of craft, then how come the stars all the way around that light were still showing up on the app as stars? It was if, maybe, I can't explain. It was just as if like everything else was there. It's unexplainable as to what it was. Anyway, afterwards I said to the wife, I said, are you all right? And she said, no, I feel really rough. I feel sick. I feel a bit dizzy. I said, yeah, so do I. And Antonia said, what was that? Antonia's my daughter. And I said to her, oh, I think it was a helicopter, Antonia, because obviously I didn't want to worry her. And I said, look, I think it's probably best we go to bed. And the missus said yes. When Little had fallen asleep, spoke to the missus, and I said to her, that weren't from this planet. That definitely wasn't from this planet. And she went, no. And she said you were moving in slow motion, and I was shouting at you, and you just couldn't hear what I was saying. I said it was just the whole thing is just unexplainable. Anyway, we went to sleep, and we agreed not to talk about it anymore in front of Antonia, because we didn't think it was a good idea at the time. And the following morning I got up. The farm has got showers that people, if you camp there, you can use their showers. So I walked up with my towel and that, and as I walked past the other couple's tent, the gentleman came out and he said to me, are you all right, mate? And I said, oh yeah, I'm okay. He said, what was all that light about last night? I said, oh, did you see it? He said yeah. He said it was a proper beam, like a spotlight, the searchlight that they used to use like during World War II, but it was a million times brighter. It was just a pure beam of white light on you. And he said,
Wow.
and he said, you guys were moving like at 100 miles an hour as if you were raving. It was the oddest thing I've ever seen. And I said, no, we weren't moving fast, mate. I said, we were moving slow. He said, no, I'm telling you, your arms and that were all flying around. And I don't remember doing any of that. And he said, I said, I'm glad it only lasted like a couple of minutes. He said, no, that didn't last a couple of minutes, mate. He said that lasted a good 20 minutes. And my face just dropped. I felt really, really ill when he said that to me. I said, are you sure? He said, absolutely. He said, it was a good 20 minutes. He said, I was going to come over, but he said, I've never seen nothing like it. And there was no sound. He said, I couldn't see where the light was coming from. He said, it was just come out the night sky. And he said, you sure you're all right, mate? He said, you look ever so white. I said, yeah. I said, I think I'll have a shower. He said, I think you maybe should go to a doctor. I said, oh, I'll be all right. And I walked off and had the shower. And when I come back down, he wasn't out. He was in the tent. I went back to our tent and I spoke to the missus. I said, look, this is what this guy said. And she said, oh, something ain't right here, is it? I said, no. I said, I don't know what's happened. I said, but we've lost like 25 minutes of time somewhere. And it's really strange. But, you know, we went off into the town that day. When we come back in the evening, that couple had gone, their tent had gone. I didn't speak to the farmer about it. I didn't, you know, when we left on the Sunday, I just paid him and we left. He didn't talk to me about it. I don't know if he'd seen it from his farmhouse or what, but no one out. I didn't speak to anybody else about it until we came back. I've only spoke to family and friends about this, and most people are a bit skeptical. They're not too sure. They think I'm a little bit crazy. But one thing that I have had, that I mentioned on the UFO channel when I wrote on there, is that I have had a couple of health conditions, and that was that I've now got tumours on my adrenal glands. Now, I don't know if this has come from that, but basically my body now doesn't produce testosterone naturally. So I have to.
Wow.
I'm on hormone replacement therapy, which really, for someone at that time of age, shouldn't really have those sort of problems. Now, I've seen a video. I watched several videos on YouTube regarding UFOs and so forth, and I've heard a couple of people mention that. I don't know if this is true or not, but people that have been abducted, they've said that whatever abducted them has tried to eat the adrenal gland. Now, don't quote me on this, but I have heard that a couple of times before, but I haven't had mine eaten. I've just got tumours on mine, but it makes you wonder. I don't believe there are coincidences. You know, I've always throughout my life, I don't think there are coincidences. But that's a health problem that I've got. Yeah. And apart from that, I'm perfectly healthy. You know, so that was that particular case. You know, it is a bit out there. It really is. But yeah, I'm quite happy to answer any questions on that.
Yeah. So like that happened on the first night, the whole incident.
Yes.
So when you were like staying for the second night, did you feel like anxious or like worried that something could happen again? Like, did you feel like you wanted to stay or leave? Or did you just want to just not think about it?
No, my daughter didn't want to go back. We did talk about going back, but my daughter didn't want to because it was a seaside town and that there's so much to do there. So we decided we would stay. We did use the app again, but obviously that star wasn't there. I don't know if I'm glad it wasn't there or not. You know, to be honest, it would have been nice to have come back because you know, it's a very strange experience. So yeah.
Yeah, I suppose if it happens again, you know, you've not just imagined it like that first time, or you had like a shared hallucination or something like that. So I can understand. Yeah, you think I'm not crazy. Like this has happened to me. So yeah, I can understand that sort of wanting it to happen again, just to sort of justify it to yourself, maybe.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
My daughter was 6. I think I might have said she was 4, but I believe she must be 6. She was born in 2006, and it happened in 2012. Yeah, so she was 6 years old. You know, I've spoken to my daughter about it since then, and she says she does remember, you know, but she doesn't remember how she felt. That's the only thing. She remembers the bright light, and that was about it. But you know,
Yeah,
I've said to her since then that I believe it was an unidentified flying object, and you know, she believes it was as well. But obviously, at the time, like I said, we told her that it was a military helicopter or something, even though there was no sound, there was no wind. You know, I don't know if the military have anything like this. You never know, do you? But for something to move as fast as what that did was incredible. I don't believe there's anything on this earth that can move at that speed. It was literally like that. 1 minute it was
no,
there.
it doesn't sound like it's. Yeah,
Yeah, and normally if it was a craft that we had built with engines, you'd have sound. It would make a noise when it was moving away, and also
especially if it's that close. Yeah, for sure.
absolutely, yeah, yeah.
But before this experience, have you had any like? Did you believe in UFOs or anything?
Absolutely, absolutely. I've always believed that there's something out there, and if you want my honest opinion, I don't feel that I'm from this planet. I feel like I'm from. I don't fit in here. You know, but then it's just some people feel like that. You know, I've never felt like I've fitted in. I dress differently to everyone anyway. As you can see, I've got bright green hair. You know, but that's who I am. I'm not a sheep, you know. But yeah, I've never had any other UFO experiences. Paranormal activity, yeah, I've had quite a few experiences from those. You know, ghosts, as most people call them. Had a lot of experience with those. But yeah, this is a totally different thing. This is really unexplainable, you know.
So when you look back, like now, like a couple of years later, when you think about what happened in your mind, that's aliens, that's something not off this planet, and you feel like at peace with that happened to you.
You know what? Afterwards, I've always felt that they're going to come back for me one day. I've had an inner feeling that they're going to come back for me, and I've always said that. And about a year ago, they did. There was a craft outside the house. Right. You know, it was a Saturday evening. We'd just been out and done the shopping. It was in October, so it was dark early. I was just unloading the car with the shopping, and it was a clear sky with a few clouds. It's a bit overcast, as you say. And I was just coming back out the second time to get some bags out the boot of my car. And I don't know, I just happened to look up, and in the sky was a circle of white lights, just covered by cloud, but you could see white lights, and they were flashing on and off in a circle. Didn't seem that quite high up either. But again, there was no noise, nothing at all. So I straight away shouted out to my missus and my boy. I said, come out here, look, there's some lights in the sky, it's a UFO. And they came out, and we all looked up at it, and said to the missus, go and get your phone, get your phone, let's take a photo. Took photos, but nothing come out, it was just blackness. It's just nothing at all. And then all of a sudden they disappeared, and all the electricity in the house went out, all the lights went out, everything, as if like, you know, when the fuse trips, there was no power in the house whatsoever. And when we come back in, they all come back on again. A couple of seconds later, come back on again. And then the following night, I was putting out the recycling to the recycling bin. Just happened to look up again, and it was back. It was there again in the night sky. So I called out to the missus again. She come out. We both stood at the back door, and we stood up and we looked at it. It was flashing again, on and off the lights, and then it disappeared, and then all the electric went off again. You know, so it was weird. You know, very strange. It's unexplainable. Mate, I just don't know what's going on. But like I said to you, I get a feeling that they want something from me. I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm very fortunate. The woman that I'm with now, we've been together nearly 3 years. She's very understandable, and she has an open mind, the same as what I do. You know, we're both believers, because she saw it as well.
That's always good to have your family believe you. That's the main thing, I suppose. You're not dealing with it alone. You can talk to someone about it. It's pretty important. Absolutely.
But that is my honest opinion. I actually do feel that there is a chance they'll revisit me again. So watch this space. Yeah, you know, what I've thought about doing is going to someone that can hypnotize me and take me back to that night, and maybe they can find out what happened to the missing 20 minutes. You know, I'm really keen on doing that, because apparently hypnosis allows you to do that, and you can actually let people, when you're hypnotized, you can tell them what you're seeing, and it would be really interesting. So that might be my next chapter, what I might do. And if I do that, I certainly will let you know, because no doubt you'll be interested.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So I will definitely let you know if I do choose to do that, because it would be interesting.
Yeah, cool. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to come and tell your story, and I hope you and your family are staying safe.
Thank you, Ash. I appreciate that, and you're more than welcome, mate. I thoroughly enjoyed being on here, and like I say, if I do choose to do that hypnosis thing, I'll let you know.
Nice one. Thanks so much.
Cheers. Bye.
If you've got a story you'd like to share, please reach out to me on social media. Details are in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Experience the Stories.